Bhakta. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we have to continue speaking from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5. We have to be on 19, description of the island of Jambūdvīpa. We have just began this chapter, right? No.
Third one, Bhavna ji. But we on the third one, yeah. Jambūdvīpa Nivasi. They offer.
Yeah, let me please. Is it third? The third one.
Yeah, we're
right?
on the third one. Yeah.
But we didn't do Kim Purush Varsh.
Oh.
No,
No,
we were
no, no.
reading about
We're not on this.
Shabbat.
We are not on this. We are on the 18th. Jambūdvīpa के निवासी द्वारा श्री भगवान की स्तुति.
18th. That's what.
Yeah, we are on the 18th, third.
Yeah, 18th. That's right. Thank you. Yeah. 18th and number 3, right? Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yesterday yesterday we had reading?
Yeah,
because
we
I
read.
didn't join. Okay.
Yesterday we were hearing the prayers that Lord Shiva is offering to Sankarshan. Very beautiful prayers. That he's saying of the Supreme Lord and he's meditating on Sankarshan in Ilavrat Varsh. You read that, right? So then now we have come to the residents are now offering the prayers. Okay. Aho vichitram bhagavad vichestitam.
Aho vichitram bhagavad vichestitam.
Nanantam janoyam himishan na pashyate.
Pranatam jana ayam himisham na pashyati.
Yayan satyar hivikar masevitam.
Dhyayan asatyal hivikarma sevitum.
Nivritya putram pitaram jiveshati.
Nirhi putram pitaram jijivishati.
Yeah, jijivishati. Okay, translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Alas, how wonderful it is that the foolish materialist does not heed the great danger of impending death. He knows that death will surely come, yet he is nevertheless callous and neglectful. If his father dies, he wants to enjoy his father's property, and if his son dies, he wants to enjoy his son's possessions as well. In either case, he heedlessly tries to enjoy material happiness with the acquired money. Material happiness means to have good facilities for eating, sleeping, sexual intercourse, and defense. Within this world, the materialistic person lives only for these 4 principles of sense gratification, not caring for the impending danger of death. After his father's death, a son tries to inherit his money and use it for sense gratification. Similarly, one whose son dies tries to enjoy the possessions of his son. Sometimes the father of a dead son even enjoys his son's widow. Materialistic persons behave in this way. Thus, Shukadev Goswami says, how wonderful are these pastimes of material happiness, transacted by the will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, materialistic person wants to commit all kinds of sinful activities, but without the sanction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, no one can do anything. Why does the Supreme Personality of Godhead permit sinful activities? So one may say, right? Okay, so if nothing can happen without the sanction of the Lord, why are we being allowed to be sinful? The Supreme Lord does not want any living being to act sinfully, and he begs him through his good conscience to refrain from sin. But when someone insists upon acting sinfully, the Supreme Lord gives him the sanction to act at his own risk. Matasmrita jnanam apohanam cha. No one can do anything without the sanction of the Lord, but he is so kind that when the conditioned soul persists in doing something, the Lord permits the individual soul to act at his own risk. Just like today we shared this talk by, it's like a small excerpt of a talk by Srila Prabhupada, that, if the child keeps insisting to the father, oh, I want to touch the fire, I want to touch the fire, he keeps crying, then what to do? If the father says, no, 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 don't. But the child is insisting, not listening. Finally, the father will say, okay, do it, then you'll learn. So it's not that Krishna wants us to act sinfully. No, he's giving us such good counsel. He comes, he speaks Bhagavad Gita, he sends his incarnations, he sends his devotees, he's in our heart as Paramatma, but we are hell-bent not to listen to him. And against his will, we want to act sinfully. So according to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, sons always outlive their fathers in other planetary systems and other lands in this universe, especially on Svarglok. However, on this planet Earth, a son often dies before his father, and the materialistic father is pleased to enjoy the possessions of his son. Neither the father nor the son can see the reality that both of them are awaiting death. When death comes, however, all their plans for material enjoyment are finished. Well, the point to understand is, suppose the father dies and the son gets the property. But, the realization that, oh, just as my father has died, I'm going to die too. So what shall I do? We don't get this kind of realization. Exactly like when the Yaksha asked Yudhishthir Maharaj, what is the most amazing thing? And Yudhishthir Maharaj says that we see everyone around us dying, and yet we act in a way thinking we are never going to die. That's the most amazing thing. So,
There's
Sukadeva
even a year
Goswami saying this.
earlier, it is said, sorry, Hare Krishna.
Yes.
There's even
Hare
in
Krishna.
earlier, it's mentioned that wonderful material pastimes. I'm just wondering, why is it said wonderful material pastimes?
Yeah, even Yaksha asked Yudhishthira Maharaj, what's the most amazing thing,
Amazing. Yeah, it says also wonderful. In
Wonderful,
what ways?
yeah. Because it's wonderful, like the illusion of, see how illusion we are not able to understand. We hear about it, we talk about it, we see it, we are still not able to understand. No?
Yeah.
That's why it's being called wonderful. At least that's how I understand it.
Yeah, like you're so indulged in this, like, how that he said we don't realize.
This
True.
so mohit, like how we have become so entrapped, so enamored by this material world. And we're not able to understand anything that, oh, we have to die, we have to give up the body. We talk about it also, but still we cannot understand it. So, reading one. Vadanti Vishwam Kavyasmanashvaram
Vadanti Vishwam Kavayasmanashvarah
Pashyanti Charyatmavido Vipaschitaha.
Pashyanti cha adhyatma vipashchitah
Tathapi muyanti tamajamaya.
Tatha api muyanti tava ajmayaya
Suvismitam krityamajam nato smitam.
suvidsmitam krita yam ajam natosmitam.
O unborn one, learned Vedic scholars who are advanced in spiritual knowledge certainly know that this material world is perishable, as do other logicians and philosophers. In trance, they realize the factual position of this world, and they preach the truth as well. Yet, even they are sometimes bewildered by your illusory energy. This is your own wonderful pastime. Therefore, I can understand that your illusory energy is very wonderful, and I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. After all, Maya Devi, she belongs to Krishna, is his potency. And so amazing his potency is that although we are seeing, we are talking, we are speaking, we are hearing, yet we cannot understand. Not only does the illusory energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead act on the conditioned soul within this material world, but sometimes it also acts on the most advanced learned scholars who factually know the constitutional position of this material world through realization. As soon as someone thinks, I'm this material body, aham amiti, and everything in relation with this body, relationship with this body is mine, is in illusion, moha. So it's so instant. So instant. This illusion caused by the material energy acts especially on the conditioned souls. But it sometimes also acts on liberated souls as well. A liberated soul is a person who has sufficient knowledge of this material world and is therefore unattached to the bodily conception of life. But because of association with the modes of material nature for a very long time, even liberated souls sometimes become captivated by the illusory energy due to inattentiveness in the transcendental position. So, how we can understand? Any example? Somebody is liberated, but can also get captivated by the illusory energy.
The Muni who got captivated by the dancer who came, I'm forgetting, Menaka, yes.
Manika, is it Vishwamitra, right?
Vishwamitra. Yeah. And what came to my mind was Bharat Maharaj.
Yeah.
With the Deepa.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah. Therefore, Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 7.14, Mam eva ye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. Only those who surrender unto me can overcome the influence of the material energy. Therefore, no one should think of himself as a liberated person, immune to the influence of Maya. Everyone should very cautiously execute devotional service by rigidly following regulative principles. So Prabhupada is saying that no one should think I'm liberated. No one should think I'm immune to Maya, because the moment anyone thinks that, even if he's a liberated person, and he thinks, oh, I'm liberated, that's Maya again. So, thus he will remain fixed at the lotus feet of the Lord. Otherwise, a little inattention will create havoc. We have already seen an example of this in the case of Maharaj Bharat. Maharaj Bharat was undoubtedly a great devotee, but because he turned his attention slightly toward a small deer, he had to suffer two more births, one as a deer and another as the Brahmana Jarbarak. So here Prabhupada is mentioning in his purport. Afterward, he was liberated and went back home, back to Godhead. The Lord is always prepared to excuse his devotee, but if a devotee takes advantage of the Lord's leniency and purposefully commits mistakes again and again, the Lord will certainly punish him by letting him fall down into the clutches of the illusory energy. In other words, theoretical knowledge acquired by studying the Vedas is insufficient to protect one from the clutches of Maya. One must strongly adhere to the lotus feet of the Lord in devotional service, then one's position is secure. So one may keep on hearing about it. Theoretically, in theory, one may keep repeating, oh, I'm the soul, I'm not the body. But that's not going to bring one actually to the liberated platform. But when one engages in devotional service, when one takes shelter of Krishna, then one can get liberated. Why? Because material energy belongs to Krishna. Krishna is saying, Devi hi esha gunamai ma maya duratyaya. Mam eva ye prapadyante maya metam taranti te. He's saying, surrender unto me and you can cross beyond. Because artificially we may keep saying, okay, I'm the soul, I'm the soul, I'm the soul. But then it can remain only in theory, not practically. So how to practically behave like a soul? Right? We have to surrender to Krishna because Sanatan Dharma of the soul is devotional service. Reading on. Vishvodbhavasthana nirodha karmate.
Vishvo udhavsan nirodha karmate.
Yakritur kritamapi apakrita.
Hate hi
Kritam api apavrita.
Yuktam na chitram tvai karyakarane.
Yuktam na chitram tyavikaryakarane.
Sarvatmani vyatirikte cha vastuta.
Sarva atmani vyaktirite vastuta.
O Lord, although you are completely detached from the creation, maintenance, and annihilation of this material world, and are not directly affected by these activities, they all attribute it to you. We do not wonder at this, for your inconceivable energies perfectly qualify you to be the cause of all causes. You are the active principle in everything, although you are separate from everything. Thus, we can realize that everything is happening because of your inconceivable energy. So they understand that the Supreme Lord is omnipotent. When we say omnipotent, means he has many, many potencies. He has many, many energies by which he can act in the most inconceivable ways. So something may seem like so inconceivable, like yesterday we were hearing that Sankarshan, Lord Sankarshan, he's holding on his heads this unlimited number of universes, just like mustard seeds. Now, every universe, how heavy it would be. One planet Earth itself, how heavy it would be. Or one house itself, how heavy it would be, you know. So imagine like that if we multiply, and like not only one universe, but unlimited number of universes. So we may think, oh, Sankarshan, he's tired and he's, wrinkled up. But no, he's singing the glories of the Lord and he's happy. And while singing the glories of the Lord, he's also like in a trance, So how do we understand inconceivable and potencies? When we understand that God has unlimited potencies, inconceivable potencies. You're the Lord. Some may think that he has no potency, but no, the Lord is omnipotent. Vedan yugante tamasa tiraskritan.
Yugante tamasa tirsaskritan.
Rasa kaladyo nirturam gavigraha.
Rasa taladho yanitram
vigraha.
Pratyada devai kavye bhiyachate.
प्रत्याददेवा कवये अभियाचते
Asmai namaste vitate hitaya iti.
तस्मै
तस्मै नमस्ते
नमस्ते वितते
अभिहिताय
हिताय इति.
At the end of the millennium, ignorance personified assumed the form of a demon, stole all the Vedas, and took them down to the planet of Rasatal. The Supreme Lord, however, in his form of Hayagrave, retrieved the Vedas and returned them to Lord Brahma when he begged for them. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Lord, whose determination never fails. Although Vedic knowledge is imperishable, within this material world it is sometimes manifest and sometimes not. When the people of this material world become too absorbed in ignorance, the Vedic knowledge disappears. Lord Hayagrave or Lord Matsya, however, always protects the Vedic knowledge, and in due course of time it is again distributed through the medium of Lord Brahma. Just like the message of Bhagavad Gita was lost, Krishna says he gave it to Vivaswan to Manu, Manu to Ikshvaku, then it got lost. Then again he spoke it. So sometimes the Vedic knowledge is lost and the Lord retrieves it or speaks it again, or, it's not that the Vedic knowledge actually is eternal. It just becomes unmanifest to us. Brahma is the trustworthy representative of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, when he again asked for the treasure of Vedic knowledge, the Lord fulfilled his desire. Any questions, comments? So reading on. Hari Varshe Chapi Bhagavan Narahari Rupe Naste Tad Rupa Grahan Na.
Hari Varshe Chapi
च अपि भगवान् नरहरि रूपेण
नास्ति
तद्रुग्रहन्
तद्रूपग्रहणम्
Nimittam Uttarat Prabhidhasye Tattaitam Rupam Mahapurush.
निमित्तम् उत्तरत्र अभिभास्ये तद्दयितं
रूपं महापुरुष
Gunabhajano Mahabhagavato Daitya Davakula Tirthikarana.
गुणभाजनो महाभागवतो दैत्य दानव कुल तीर्थीकरण
Shila Charita Prahalado Vyavadhanan Nanya Bhakti Yogena Sahatad.
शिला चरित
प्रहलाद
प्रह्लादो व्ययदानान्य भक्ति योगेन सह तत्
Varsha Purusher Upaste Idam Choda Harati.
वर्ष पुरुषे उपास्ते
इदं च उदाहरति
Sukadev Goswami continued, my dear king, Lord Nrsimhadev resides in the tract of land known as Harivarsh in the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. I shall describe to you how Prahlad Maharaj caused the Lord to assume the form of Nrsimhadev. Prahlad Maharaj, the topmost devotee of the Lord, is a reservoir of all the good qualities of great personalities. His character and activities have delivered all the fallen members of his demoniac family. Lord Nrsimhadev is very dear to this exalted personality. Thus, Prahlad Maharaj, along with his servants and all the denizens of Harivarsh, worships Lord Nrsimhadev by chanting the following mantra. Jayadev Goswami's 10 prayers worshipping the incarnations of Lord Krishna Keshav contain his name in every stanza. For example, Keshav Dhrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare, Keshava Dhrita Meena Sharira Jai Jagadish Hare, and Keshava Dhrita Vamana Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare. The word Jagdish refers to the proprietor of all the universe, Jagat Isha. So proprietor of the universe. Isha means Ishwar, no? The owner. Jagat, the universe. His original form is the two-handed form of Lord Krishna, standing with a flute in his hands and engaged in tending the cows. So Jayadev Goswami has sung this Dasha Avatar Stotra, where he's glorifying the Lord in his different incarnations. As stated in Brahma Samhita, Chintamani Prakrasatmasu Kalpavriksha Laksha Vriteshu Surabhir Abhipalayantam Lakshmi Sahasra Shatasam Brahmase Vayamanam Govindam Adi Purusham Tam Aham Bhajami. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, the first progenitor, who is tending the cows, yielding all desires in abodes built with spiritual gems and surrounded by millions of purpose trees. He is always served with great reverence and affection by hundreds and thousands of goddesses of fortune. So, by Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma is saying, who is God? Lord Brahma is saying Govinda is God, the original form of God. From him everything is coming, first progenitor. And what is God doing? He's tending the cows. And the everything is Chintamani Dham. All the desires can be fulfilled just by being there. And as our houses are built with stone or cement, bricks, in Golok Vrindavan, they are built with spiritual gems. And there's Kalpa Vriksha, desire wish fulfilling trees. Over there, he's surrounded by the gopis, who are the original goddesses of fortune. From this verse, we learn that Govinda or Krishna is the Adi Purush, the original person. So this is Lord Brahma is giving us. Lord Brahma is a great authority in spiritual knowledge, and he's telling us who is God, how he looks like, what he's doing, where he stays. The Lord has innumerable incarnations, exactly like the innumerable waves of a flowing river, but the original form is Krishna or Keshav. So there's so many incarnations of God, so many, innumerable, unlimited incarnations. But his original form is Krishna, two-armed form, Brajendra Nandan Krishna. That is original form of God, Shyam Sundar Krishna. Sukadev Goswami refers to Nrsimhadev because of Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj was put into great distress by his powerful father, the demon Hiranyakashipu. Apparently helpless before him, Prahlad Maharaj called on the Lord, who immediately assumed the gigantic form of Nrsimhadev, half lion and half man, to kill the gigantic demon. Although Krishna is the original person, one without a second, he assumes different forms just to satisfy his devotees or to execute a specific purpose. Therefore, Jayadev Goswami always repeats the name of Keshav, the original personality of Godhead, in his prayers, describing the Lord's different incarnations for different purposes. So Jayadev Goswami, the Avatar Stotra, he is glorifying the Supreme Lord, different incarnations. So God is one. There are no two gods. God means one who is the most powerful. No one is more powerful than him. So it's not that there are many gods. There's only one God. But God has many expansions, his incarnations. So he expands as the devotee's desire or as is needed at that time. So can anyone remember a particular form, incarnation of the Lord? He took a particular form because it was like a great need of that moment.
The kurma, the tortoise, because it was needed at that time.
Yes, very good. Kurma.
Matsya also, because he wanted to take away the ship where everything was preserved.
In water, everything was inundated in water, so he had to preserve. So he took the form as Matsya,
Vamandev.
Vamandev, yes. That's right. He wanted to trick Bali Maharaj. So he came as a dwarf, Brahman. Yeah.
And even the boar, like because Varahadev, because he wanted to lift Mother Earth.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. Yeah, Varahadev. Yes,
Varahadev.
that's right. And also the form that we are reading in this verse.
Oh, yeah. The Narsimhadev.
Yeah, because now Brahma gave the promise, okay, you can be killed, not by man, not by animal, not by demigod, not by, so many conditions, no weapon, no. So, okay, he came as Nishimadev. So, this is the potency of the Lord, inconceivable potency. Om Namo Bhagavate Narsimhaya Namaste Jaste Jase Avir Bhava Vajranaka Vajratamstra Karmashayan Randaya Tamograsa Grasa Om Swaha Abhayam Atmani Bhuyishta Om Shrom. Okay, let's go. Om Namo Bhagavate Narsimhaya.
Namaha Teja Tejaso Avirbhava Brajana Brajadrishta Karma Achayan Randhaya Tamagrasa Grasa Om Swaha Abhyam Atmani Bhuyishtam Om Shrom Maha.
For my respectful obeisances unto Lord Nishimadev, the source of all power, O my Lord, who possess nails and teeth just like thunderbolts, kindly vanquish our demon-like desires for fruitive activity in this material world. Please appear in our hearts and drive away our ignorance so that by your mercy we may become fearless in the struggle for existence in this material world. Many devotees recite this prayer. It's a prayer to Lord Nishimadev that Prahlad Maharaj speaks this prayer. So to take away our material desires, to take away our ignorance, to become fearless. So in Srimad Bhagavatam 4:22-39, Sanat Kumar speaks the following words to Maharaj Prithu. Yatpad pankaja palasha vilasa bhaktya karma shayam gratitam udgrahayan dishanta tadvanarikta matyo yatyo apirud shroto ganastam arnam vajava sudevam. Devotees always engaged in the service of the toes of the Lord's lotus feet can very easily become free from hard-knotted desires for fruitive activities. Because this is very difficult, the non-devotees, the jnanis and yogis cannot stop the waves of sense gratification, although they try to do so. Therefore, you are advised to engage in the devotional service of Krishna, the son of Vasudeva. So Bhagavatam, Sanat Kumar is telling to Prithu Maharaj. that the material desires, they can't be given up. They're very difficult to give up material desires. If we take the process of Gyan or Yoga, it's very difficult to get free from this material desires, very tightly knotted. But a devotee can easily give them up. And so Sanat Kumar is giving this advice to Prithu Maharaj, that you engage in devotional service to Krishna, the son of Vasudeva. So they're very specific, who to pray to, why to pray. Like so much detailed information is given. So every living being. So we see also, we have this famous example. You just said that, Vishwamitra Menka. But Haridas Thakur, he did not get carried away, although Maya Devi came to him herself. So really, the desire to sin, the Lord takes it away from the heart of a devotee. When he sees one is sincere, the proclivity to sin, he takes it away. So every living being within this material world has a strong desire to enjoy matter to his fullest satisfaction, because after all, this is the reason we are here, We are here because we want to enjoy the material world. This material body is actually our uniform of this material world. For this purpose, the conditioned soul must accept one body after another, and thus his strongly fixed fruitive desires continue. How we read in that Puranjan story that the intelligence is just how can I enjoy? That's all. That's how our intelligence is. How I can enjoy in this material world. One cannot stop the repetition of birth and death without being completely desireless. Therefore, Srila Rupa Goswami describes pure bhakti, devotional service, as follows. Anya bhilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukulyena krishnanu shilanam bhaktiruttama. One should render transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord Krishna favorably and without desire for material profit or gain through fruitive activities or philosophical speculation. That is called pure devotional service. So pure devotional service, serving Krishna favorably. It should be favorable to Krishna. Because one may be meditating on Krishna, but like Kans was meditating, but his meditation was not favorable. He was always angry. He was scared, fearful. Hiranyakashipu was angry. So, but favorably and without desire for material gain. So without any material desire, without desire for spiritual emancipation, like there's no speculation there, no desire to become one with God, no desire for any mystic perfection, and following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas, anushilanam. So following as the previous acharyas have taught us, that is pure devotional service, unless one is completely freed of all material desires, which are caused by the dense darkness of ignorance, one cannot fully engage in the devotional service of the Lord. So, why do we have the material desires?
Ignorance.
Yes, that's right. We are ignorant. What's our ignorance?
That we are this body.
Yes, that's right. Thank you. And because of that, we are not able to fully engage in the devotional service of the Lord. Therefore, we should always offer our prayers to Lord Nishamadi, who killed Hiranyakashipu, the personification of material desire. Hiranya means gold and Kashipu means a soft cushion or bed. Materialistic persons always desire to make the body comfortable, and for this they require huge amounts of gold. Thus, Hiranyakashipu was a perfect representative of materialistic life. So his name literally means a soft golden bed. Hiranyakashipu, gold, soft cushion of bed. Or to get a soft bed needs a lot of gold. So anyway, so he was therefore the cause of great disturbance to the topmost devotee Prahlad Maharaj until Lord Nrsimhadev killed him. Any devotee aspiring to be free of material desires should offer his respectful prayers to Nrsimhadev as Prahlad Maharaj did in this verse. So very powerful prayer to help us get rid of our material desires. How will it go? Swasti. How would it go? I forgot now.
Swasti astu vishwasya khala prasidatam.
Swasti astu vishwasya khala prasidatam.
Swasti astu vishwasya khala prasidatam.
Dhyayantu bhutani shivam mithodhiya.
Dhyayantu bhutani shivam mithodhiya.
Manascha bhadram vachatat adhokshaje.
Manascha bhadram bhajatat adhokshaje.
Aveshyatam no matirapi ahaituki.
Aveshyatam no mati api ahetuki.
May there be good fortune throughout the universe, and may all envious persons be pacified. May all living entities become calm by practicing Bhakti Yoga. For by accepting devotional service, they will think of each other's welfare. Therefore, let us all engage in the service of the Supreme Transcendence, Lord Sri Krishna, and always remain absorbed in thought of Him. The following verse describes a Vaishnava. Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu bhaevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Just like a desire tree, a Vaishnava can fulfill all the desires of anyone who takes shelter of his lotus feet. So desire tree fulfills our desires. Similarly, a Vaishnava can fulfill if we surrender to him. Prahlad Maharaj is a typical Vaishnava. He prays not for himself, but for all living entities, the gentle, the envious, and the mischievous. He always thought of the welfare of the mischievous persons, like his father, Hiranyakashipu. Prahlad Maharaj did not ask for anything for himself, rather, he prayed for the Lord to excuse his demoniac father. This is the attitude of a Vaishnava who always thinks of the welfare of the entire universe. So that's why it is said that the devotee, he is the topmost, he has the topmost welfare of others in his heart, because he wants everyone to get out of the material world, everyone to engage in devotional service. He understands that everyone is suffering because of forgetfulness of his constitutional position. Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Dharma are meant for persons who are completely free of envy, param nirmatsaranam. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj prays in this verse, Khala prasidatam. May all the envious persons be pacified. The material world is full of envious persons. But if one frees himself of envy, he becomes liberal in his social dealings and can think of others' welfare. So what we can understand means material life means envy. And when we engage in devotional service, then we can actually become liberal, truly wish for the welfare of everyone else, not only human beings, animals, birds, trees, everyone. Anyone who takes up Krishna consciousness and engages himself completely in the service of the Lord cleanses his mind of all envy. Manascha Bhadram Bhajatad Adhokshaje. So Srila Prabhupada says that anyone who has given up envy, that is Vaikuntha life for him. Then wherever he may be, he is always in the spiritual world, because spiritual world, there is no envy. Therefore, we should pray to Lord Nishimadev to sit in our hearts. We should pray, Bahir Nishima, Hridaye Nishima. Let Lord Nishimadev sit in the core of my heart, killing all my bad propensities. Let my mind become clean so that I may peacefully worship the Lord and bring peace to the entire world. So we sing this every day. Bahir Nishima, Hridaye Nishima. To let Lord Nishimadev, just as he killed Hiranyakashipu, so kill all my bad propensities. Let all the dirty things in our heart go away so that we can actually worship the Supreme Lord, peacefully worship the Supreme Lord. And in this way, everyone can become peaceful. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has given us a very fine purport in this regard. Whenever one offers a prayer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one always requests some benediction from him. Even pure, Nishkam devotees pray for some benediction, as instructed by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Shikshastak. So now Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying when even a pure devotee is offering prayers to the Lord, he's asking something. But what is he asking now? Nishkam means he has no material desire. That's a Nishkam devotee. Sakam devotee is a devotee of the Lord, but he has material desires. But pure devotee, he has no material desires. What is he desiring? Ai nanda tanuja kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhavam buddha kripaya tava pad pankaja sthitaduli sadasam vichintaya. O son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor. Yet, somehow or other, I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from the ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. So this is the Shikshastakam that Lord Chaitanya has given us. In another prayer, Lord Chaitanya says, Mama Janmani Janmanishwari Bhavatad Bhaktir Ahaitu Tvai. So what is the devotee asking? Lord Chaitanya is teaching us how to pray to the Lord. What kind of desire should we have? Lord Chaitanya is telling us that life after life, kindly let me have unalloyed love and devotion at your Lordship's lotus feet. So he's asking for pure devotional service. Pure devotional service is the same as going back home, back to Godhead. There's no difference. Because wherever there is a pure devotee, there is Krishna. Wherever there is Krishna, that's Vrindavan. So, but we pray, we want to go back home, back to Godhead. We want to go to the spiritual world. We want pure devotional service. And so this is not a material desire. Somehow the other, we have so many desires, but somehow the other we should also try to have this desire. So when Prahlad Maharaj chants Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya, he prays for a benediction from the Lord. But because he's also an exalted Vaishnava, he wants nothing for his personal sense gratification. The first desire expressed in his prayer is Swasti Astu Vishwasya. Let there be good fortune throughout the entire universe. So Prahlad Maharaj is saying, let there be good fortune everywhere, and let everyone become fortunate. Prahlad Maharaj thus requested the Lord to be merciful to everyone, including his father, a most envious person. According to Chanakya Pandit, there are two kinds of envious living entities. One is a snake, and the other is the man like Hiranyakashipu, who is by nature envious of everyone, even of his father or son. Hiranyakashipu was envious of his little son Prahlad, but Prahlad Maharaj asked a benediction for the benefit of his father. Hiranyakashipu was very envious of devotees. But Prahlad wished that his father and other demons like him would give up their envious nature by the grace of the Lord and stop harassing the devotees. Kala prasidatam. So Lord Nrsimhadev is not saying, oh, he troubled me so much and he deserves to be punished. And, I got so much trauma through this. No, he's saying, you please be merciful to them. Be merciful to him, to my father and everyone like him, to give up the envy. The difficulty is that the kala, envious living entity, is rarely pacified. One kind of kala, the snake, can be pacified simply by mantras or by the action of a particular herb. Mantra Shadi Vasha Sarpa Khala Kena Nivaryate. So what Prabhupada is explaining, the Chanakya Pandit is saying there are two kinds of envious entities. One is the snake and one is a person who is envious. So snake can still be charmed by some mantra, some kind of a herb. The envious nature of the snake can be controlled. An envious person, however, cannot be pacified by any means. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj prays that all envious persons may undergo a change of heart and think of the welfare of others. So that's why Prahlad Maharaj is praying for us, so that we can have a change of heart. Otherwise, our hearts are filled with envy. So that we may actually be able to think for others' welfare. If the Krishna consciousness movement spreads all over the world, and if by the grace of Krishna everyone accepts it, the thinking of envious people will change. Everyone will think of the welfare of others. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj prays, Shivam Mithodhiya. In material activities, everyone is envious of others, but in Krishna consciousness, no one is envious of anyone else. Everyone thinks of the welfare of others. So everyone is thinking how one can follow Lord Chaitanya's instruction, Bolo Krishna, Bhajo Krishna, Koro Krishna, Shiksha. One wants to engage everyone in this, to speak about Krishna, worship Krishna, and follow Krishna's instructions. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj prays that everyone's mind may become gentle by being fixed at the lotus feet of Krishna, Bhajatat Adhokshaje. So Prahlad Maharaj, he understands that the remedy for this envy is to fix our mind at the lotus feet of Krishna, to engage in devotional service, to hear and chant about Krishna, as indicated elsewhere in Srimad Bhagavatam, Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vindayo. And as advised by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita 18:66, Man Mana Bhava Mad Bhakta. One should constantly think of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Then one's mind will certainly be cleansed. Cheto Darpana Marjanam. So our material consciousness, our material and our envy can go away if we can think of Krishna constantly, favorably, chant his holy name. Materialists always think of sense gratification, but Prahlad Maharaj prays that the Lord's mercy will change their minds and they will stop thinking of sense gratification. If they think of Krishna always, everything will be all right. Some people argue that if everyone thought of Krishna in that way, the whole universe would be vacated because everyone would go back home, back to Godhead. However, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that this is impossible because the living entities are innumerable. If one set of living entities is actually delivered by the Krishna consciousness movement, another set will fill the entire universe. So one may say if everyone goes back to Goloka, then this universe will become empty. But Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying there's so many living entities. Even if the universe becomes empty, other living entities will again fill it. Innumerable. But here what here Srila Prahlad Maharaj, he's praying to Lord Nrsimhadev to sit in our hearts so that our material desires can be pacified, can go away. So fixing the mind on Krishna, hearing, by constant hearing and chanting. This is what Prahlad Maharaj is saying. So let's stop here. Did anyone want to add anything? Thank you so much for listening and joining in. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.